I can't believe I just listened to that song, man.
What's wrong with the song?
That song was trash, man.
Oh, that's a hit, though.
You say so, man. You the expert.
I don't know.
You're now listening to a Bobby
Wasn't feeling it. Feeling it.
That's what it is, right?
I've heard better.
Very better drill music.
I've heard better.
I don't know the difference, man. See? Now New York guy.
I'm familiar with drill music, but I'm also
I
familiar
need
with
New York to give it back.
I'm familiar with good drill music. I'm familiar with
We don't need it. We don't need Philly. Don't need it. New York don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Get a drill music back to London and Chicago. They can keep it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Dane, man. We moving slow today. We ain't even get a chance. Like there was no. We usually sit down before the music stop, man. There was no music, so we look like we just took the day off or
It's
something.
not true though. We
Oh.
didn't take the day off.
Didn't take the
We
day
are
off.
here.
And Tuke probably
It
got
is
something
happening.
playing in the background anyway, so the people wasn't listening to silence. Hey, y'all, we'd like to welcome y'all to Over a Drink. You know what I mean? Down here at the G Shop. You ain't got nothing to do. Come get some shirts made. You know what I'm saying? Like, change your life. Come on down here. Start a business. Hey, Dame, I got the leftover Macallan 12 for you
Never.
and me.
Huh?
Our guests don't drink. Like to welcome my man Brian to the set.
What up, man? What's good?
Hey, what's up,
Let me
guys?
get this for you.
Yeah, you got to talk into the mic.
Yeah, my bad.
It's
Appreciate
all good.
it. Thank you guys for having me.
No problem, man. Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, man, this is our first time, so you know what I'm saying. Bear with us.
You know what I'm saying? We got super producer Damon Delphia in the building.
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, 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 dun. You know what I'm saying? So Brian, man, what we do, man? It's kind of the same way we did it when we did it. You know what I mean? For the interview series, we pour a drink, we talk. We got about an hour to shoot the shit. We run through some topics.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can jump in, jump out, change the topics. You know what I mean? Talk about whatever's on your mind. We will comment on it.
Definitely.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talk about whatever's on Dame's mind. We comment on that. You know what I'm saying?
That was an awesome description. You just like broke it down so it's like so simple
You know what
that
I'm saying?
nobody probably want to watch or listen. It's like, yeah, it's pretty simple. We just kind of
It's
like,
very simple.
yeah.
Like, it ain't that complicated, man. People overthink it. Ain't no sense in
That's a
overthinking
fact.
it, man.
no, first of all, it's 5 o'clock on the dot.
Boom.
So,
You're welcome.
He
And we
stopped the
here.
music early, but I don't think that was our fault.
He said, what you?
That wasn't our fault.
He's probably like, yo, when they gonna show up with a theme song? They want to keep music going until they get ready to go and send us a theme song.
Theme song.
Super producers working on that, y'all. It's coming.
Theme song.
Yeah, our intro, our theme song,
It's
whatever you
getting,
want to call it. Our
it's, just,
walking
it's
music.
growing.
It's growing.
First it was like, oh, this little bit, and then it was like an intro, and then it's a theme,
It's a theme
song.
song.
Like,
Sipping with Sammy got a theme song. We need a theme song, Dame. Like,
and that shit jams.
when they come
too.
on, they know it's us.
All right.
You
I'm
know
working
what
on
I'm
it.
saying?
I am working on it though. I am working on it. Just wanna.
I'm so
Put that out
excited. I
there.
can't wait, man.
You can't wait, but what's?
So this is water.
Okay.
Quench my thirst.
Okay. All right. So what you want to start with? Topics?
Let's start with topics, or we want to start with
I mean, we at war. We can start there.
we at war. We ain't at war,
I mean,
but the world is.
I'm a little worried.
I'm a little worried. You know what
Only
I'm
because
saying?
it just seems so casual. Like, you know what I mean?
Dude, it's a shame that this is where we at in the world, right? Where the world, we can go to war like a superpower has unleashed holy hell
Sorta.
on an independent nation, man.
Not holy
And,
hell, just like
like,
a little hell.
dude, he put the nukes on standby.
I mean, he's just flexing right now. Like,
I mean, why not, right? He's a,
yeah.
I mean, what does he got to
you know
lose
what I
at
mean?
this point,
Just a
right?
Flex, like, just letting you know I'm capable.
Yo. So, first of all, man, for y'all don't know who Brian is, man, Brian is a former Philadelphia police officer. I met him a couple months ago, man. We had a great conversation. Enjoy his vibe, enjoy his energy. I invited him down to share his story with us, and kick it with us, and you know what I mean? And comment on the bullshit that we talk about. Like, 'cause he's dealing with some real shit. He coming in here with us and shit. Me and Dave just be
We talk
fucking
about
around.
police a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so be good to get your perspective on some things.
No.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? So first off, man, we like to have a toast, B.
Cheers. What do you got? What's that?
I got a peach pear.
Nice.
Everfresh. Yeah.
Way to go, Mike.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't have any cranberry across the street, so it was either that or the orange. The orange, and I know Dame
Nice.
is.
Callan's nice.
Hey, man, this was a
Little
gift from my
midday.
brother-in-law, man. And
Okay.
Dame, I shared it with you, man.
I appreciate it.
You and I and Darren are the only ones who've been drinking it, man.
Thank the brother-in-law, man.
You know what I'm saying? My brother-in-law got some good taste. He do buy some good liquor,
taste,
man.
you know what I mean?
He always come through with good liquor, the brother-in-law, man. And when I go to his crib, he got a full cabinet full of good liquor, too. Love it.
Just like take
Love
a
it.
couple
Problem
of
is, he lives an hour away, so I can only drink for so much.
Yeah, I want to spend some time, man. That's all.
Yeah, but even spending time, I still got to get home, man. You know what I'm saying? But he do always invite us to stay the night, so sometimes I stay over, man, and me and the wife just sit there and just drink until I doze off.
Have you never drink?
No, I used to drink a lot. That was
Okay.
the problem. I was drinking too much. And I was like, all right, I got
And he cut it out.
Yeah, I had to
All
cut
right.
it out.
He was a cop. I mean, how many cops do you know those
Yeah,
days?
but I drink. You know, I worked in a bar
Okay.
for as long as I was a cop. So, you know,
All right.
familiar with a bunch of the liquors and stuff like that.
You know what I'm saying?
I always wonder, like, was it like straight up? It's like I don't do nothing. I'm just like out here to.
No,
Yeah,
like
I mean-
I was never like a big drinker. I was always just a social drinker.
Okay.
But my problem was if I went out 7 days a week, I was drinking 7 days a week.
I hear that.
So, you know, I was having like a little more party days and I was turning up a little too hard.
That's
And I
me
was
this
like,
week.
Started
You know
catching
what
up
I'm
with me and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of being hungover.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I've been out a couple
I
days
hate
this
that,
week.
Like,
yeah.
being hungover sucks.
They could fix
man.
it to where you couldn't get hungover off this liquor. I'll be right back.
Yo,
Drinking
like
every
somebody
night,
had
stumbling
some
around.
it's a liquor, like it was like some fork liquor. Like you supposed to get drunk, but it only gets you drunk to a certain level.
Who wants that?
And then
though?
the more you drink, it just you can't get drunk
Oh,
anymore.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I forget, like some scientist was working on it, man. But
I
you
don't
know,
like
liquor
that idea.
industry's like the gas industry. Like they ain't let they're like the oil industry. They ain't letting nothing come in, man, to stop they shine, man. Like, oh, hold on, what you mean? You get drunk, you can just keep drinking. It don't matter no more. Once you hit a certain level, you can't get drunk no more.
So back to the war, yo.
Back to the war.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? B, you was in Iraq, right?
Yeah, it was in Iraq.
So you war familiar.
I was gonna ask you. I was like straight to police, or did you like serve in the military, or like, or was it like?
I was in the military for 15 years.
Okay.
I was in National Guard, and I went to Iraq in like 08 to like 09. Got hurt when I was over there. Came back home, and then stayed in the Guard till about 2020.
You're a whole fucking veteran, man.
Yeah, he's official tissue,
You know what I'm
man. So from with that having war experience, when you look at what's going on right now, man, like what's your thoughts?
It's crazy, yo. I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, it's looking at myself when I was so much younger. Cause when I got in like I was 16 when I got in. Cause they had
How the hell did you manage to go to
so
like this is
Yo.
not like 1962 or 1958.
In America?
This
Yeah,
is America.
so-
You went to the army at 16?
Yeah, so you know, like around 05, it started heating up really over there in Iraq. 06, they started using like explosives, so they were losing more people than they were getting in. So they start hitting more at the high schools. They come to the high schools, and it was an early option program where you can join.
Yo.
You basically do half your training over the summer. Come back when you're 17. After you graduate, you do the rest of your training. You go. But I had my GED,
So you was all in.
So-
They was
so,
like, you don't
yeah.
gotta go back.
you know, my recruiter, you know, he had to forge a couple little clock hours just to make sure I had the right amount of clock hours. But you know,
But
I
you
was
was in.
Yeah, I was rated and I was in.
So you went to basic training when you was 16?
17. So yeah, it was like a month after I turned 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that? Like that must have been.
I mean,
Listen, I ain't grow up with my dad, so
Okay.
I didn't grow up with men yelling at me, anything like that. My mom wasn't a yeller. Man, I'm sitting down there, and you got grown men screaming at you. You got the bulls you training with screaming at you. I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I mean?
talk about
like,
an institution, man.
Word up.
You know, I never really had like I never really had like a super interest in like just joining. It wasn't like something like, oh, I always wanted to get in. I wanted to be a cop.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know, with the GED, I was like, I need something that's gonna give me the leg up because I didn't know
Gotcha.
at the time, but I thought people were coming in there with college degrees.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
they do,
yeah.
like most of the departments, but
Not
not where I was.
Philly.
Yeah, not where
Not
I was going
Philly.
in Philly. Yeah,
What made you want to be a cop, though?
you know, I just saw like the uniforms.
Okay.
You know, they came through. I grew up in Southwest, and they
I'm
just
from
be
yeah.
they
Okay.
be sitting right on the corner. I grew up 67 for Woodland Avenue.
Okay,
Yeah, they just be shooting in the middle of the streets with AKs. So it's
that
like,
is true.
you know, when you see the cops around there, you're like, yo,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
you get a little peace.
I
You
live
know,
in Southwest Philly, so I
you get a
know
little
what
peace,
you
a little
speak
breathing
of.
room when the cops are around. You know, I'm not in that lifestyle, so
Mhm.
I'm not even understanding, you know, what's going on, and so it's not going to bother me that the cops are out there policing them the way they're policing them, because I just see them getting up.
So you were trying to,
Shooting criminals,
you were just, I want to do some good in the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just
Because it feels like, you know, you're like, I could have been a cop, I could have went into the service, like whatever it was, I was
Yeah.
trying to like,
yeah, I just wanted to give myself like the leg up. I knew I was gonna have it hard out there, and I was
Mhm.
like, yo, I gotta, you know, I'm the breadwinner for my family, so I gotta provide.
Real
so
talk.
I needed to give myself as much of a foundation as I could to stand on, because I could have went one direction and it didn't pan out, and I didn't waste the time. So I figured I can go active, and then if that doesn't work out, then I can try the cop thing. But if I go to guard, I can do them both at the same time, so
Yep.
I'm not wasting any time.
how many
Dude,
people,
your plan for 16, like it was a
how
you
many
had a
people,
quality plan.
like when you went into like, I guess, for your training, like were in the same situation or a similar situation?
It was so crazy the way they were putting people in. Like, it was at that point, it was like I had people that was in my company
Mhm.
that it was like, yo, you either going to go to jail or you're going to join the army, because we need people.
And so
We're
they
not
go
trying to
to
lock
court,
you up.
and they was like, look, here's
You
your
got the
options.
option, and you know, and it was dudes over there like, listen, the only reason I'm here is because I don't want to go to jail. You know, so you're dealing with
I'm
those
only
kind of-
here, so I won't get fined.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
You
it.
know, so
Damn.
I mean, you're for the most part, you don't. It's not a lot of city people that are in there when you're in there. So
Mhm.
you do get like some black people that was in there, but it was mostly like country folk. So you know how country people are, man.
Yeah.
It was like 1942 up in there in the barracks. Yeah. No, man, it was like every day I'm like, damn, we want to step away from a race riot up in here, man. For real. I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri in like 06, right? They told me part of our briefing was the black kids couldn't go out, and none of the black soldiers could go out once the sun went down, because they had such a strong KKK presence down there.
Sundown town,
And-
yo.
and
Still.
And because that the KKK is such a strong presence in that unit,
Mhm.
that they would advise us to stay on the post at all times.
Dude, so not only did you have to deal with the KKK out in the world, in the unit too.
Yeah.
So just on the barracks, on base,
Post 2000.
Listen, man,
2005 thing. And you wonder
Yo.
why? you got-
Jay-Z's the biggest.
Yo,
man,
I'm no longer surprised that they trying to still take countries.
yeah.
Like, we can't even get this race shit right here. It's
crazy.
Yeah, and it's
2005.
hard to report it too, man, because like it's not like out in the private sector. I mean, in the
Mhm.
public sector where you got channels. I can go to report it, and literally one person can shut it all down and be like, no,
Yeah.
we're done with this conversation. You know, move you. If they don't move you, you know. But once it's shut down, it's like, well, what do you do now? You can't rehash the same problem back out again. Now you got to deal with the guy that you went and complained about, or the woman you complained about, now still over you in an authoritative position.
Dude, so this has kind of been
Yeah.
the story of your life, man. From like the time you were 16 to the time you left the department.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, I do jobs that isn't really catered towards, minorities. So, you get that treatment when you get there.
Yeah,
Like the military just started letting women fight on the front lines.
yeah,
Yeah.
What, like 4 years ago?
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like 4 years ago, they're just now saying women are competent enough to fight. So I already know how far behind they are with their policies. You get what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
I mean, I see it, and that's why I got out with 14 years instead of staying till I got 20. Because I was like, I told myself, I said, the benefit of staying to 20 doesn't outweigh all the problems that
You gotta have to,
that I have to go through to
walk
get
that
there.
last 6
And look,
years.
I got out, and then 2 years later, we out in some drama with Russia.
Look at that, dude. So now, speaking of bringing us back to where we
Bring us
started,
back
man,
to where we started.
like
to see,
when you look at,
to see like the you go.
go ahead,
my
you
bad.
go ahead.
No. I
go.
just like when you see the Russian military in the streets and you know what I mean, and the country picking up arms like the everyday countrymen and shit. Like
Yeah.
it's like, how long is that going to keep happening like that? I mean, like it just feels like the other shoe's going to drop at some point, and they're going to start like
I mean, I don't think so. I think they just is going to keep going until Ukraine is back part of Russia.
Okay.
I mean, I think if anybody was going to get involved, they would have already got involved.
I don't think
Nobody's getting
No
involved.
one's getting involved.
Nobody
other
like
than
they're gonna give
economic
Everybody's
them
talking about the
they
outrage.
might throw them some
They-
weapons and throw them some money, but nobody like America ain't sending no soldiers in there to fight.
But then the crazy part is, like, a lot of people aren't talking about how America, and the rest of the other countries talk Ukraine into giving up a lot of their arms to protect them from stuff like this.
Yeah.
With the promise that you would be there to defend them. When you say you're gonna be there for somebody, you got to be there for them.
I
And
agree.
I'm against getting involved in other people's stuff, but if you're gonna make somebody put down their weapons to make them safer, like you took away all those nuclear weapons,
yeah.
then you got to go for them when they need help.
Yeah.
Because the next small country that's like that, that's gonna want protection, isn't gonna give up those arms. And I want
But
the
what
least
do
amount
you
of
do
countries to
right
have them.
now, right? Like, dude, we can't the U.S. can't go in there and start fighting Russia. Like, we can't have two superpowers at war right now.
Yeah.
Like,
can't.
you know what I'm saying? Like, we just can't have that happen. Because it's inevitable that somebody will do something that's gonna fuck it up for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I love the energy that Ukraine's president is putting out right now. I told Dave the other day he's my new favorite world leader and shit. He went from being a comedian to being a fucking,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, being a wartime leader. Like,
I don't need a
in
ride.
2 years, I don't need no ride. I need ammo, B. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean evacuate me? My people fighting, I'm fighting.
Yeah.
Dude, I fell in love with the dude. I'm like, yo, this dude talking that shit. But when I said, my wife would be like, my wife, she's like, why didn't they just try to get out and evacuate her? I said, babe, where they gonna go? Where you gonna go?
Yeah.
I'm like, they gotta just stay there and fight till the last Ukrainian person is dead, man. They can't just give up, man.
Yeah.
But they also can't just, I don't know, like, I just see the country, raising arms, like, as a country and, like, posturing against, like, the tanks coming down. And it's like, how long is that going to keep?
Until the last one of us is standing, dang. Like, it's a different wartime, right? They everything that's happening is on camera. It's on social media.
Yeah.
Like, Russia is looking horrible to the world right now, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
all
but
this
not,
bullshit
but not
that
to the
they was
people in
doing.
Russia, though.
Even to the people in Russia, they protested in Russia.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
protested in Russia. Like, the Russians didn't even know that this was about to happen until 2 days out.
That's what I mean. Like, the technology for them is a little slower.
Well, that's because
it's
Putin also was controlling the narrative.
I mean, yeah, it's
in
a
Russia, right?
communist country. all
Like,
that.
we had cameras at the building. They got cameras from all around the world. The Russian cameras are the only ones that don't work. Like, we can get pictures from anywhere in the world at the
Yeah.
building. We can't get no pictures from Russia.
And that's what I mean. Like,
But he can't control the images coming out of the Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. And so the whole world is seeing this behavior, seeing what he's doing. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Now, they ain't going to go in there and fight alongside the Ukrainians, but they're going to isolate Russia so much economically
Yeah.
yeah.
that they're crushing them. The Russians, they had to close the stock market today. They couldn't even operate. The
It's not
ruble is
funny,
worth
but
a
it's just
penny
like-
right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they coming at them, like, and what else you gonna do, man? That's really all we can do at this point, man. We can't have. I mean, what are we gonna do, man? The United States and Russia go to war, then China hops in because they riding with Russia,
Little
and now you got the
slap
3 superpowers.
Little slap box. You know what I mean?
Like, and shit, we can't put Biden in no fucking rank with Putin. Like, come on, man, we want to win this fight.
I know. Yeah, he be wrestling bears and shit, man.
Oh,
we
man.
can't even be like, look, we gonna let our president fight your president, whoever wins, is that's what it is.
That's the way it goes.
We can't
Like,
do that.
presidents fight presidents. Like, put on the white gloves and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We
take
can't
off the
do
white
that.
gloves and stuff, slap it in his face and shit. Like,
We can't do that, man. That's not an option, man. You know what I'm
so
saying?
you went from Southwest Philly to Missouri, and then you went like into like Iraq.
I came back home for a little bit, and then I went to Mississippi for a little bit. Went to Mississippi for Louisiana for a little bit, for a few months. Then they shipped me back here to Jersey for like a couple months for some training, and then I was in Kuwait for like a month, And I went from Kuwait to Iraq, and then I was over in Iraq for like 10, 11 months.
10, 11 months.
Shock, right?
Yeah.
Like
That's what I'm like.
You was culture shocking it up. Like,
Listen, the culture shock was I didn't know what Iraq looked like because I mean, like it's 08. Like I ain't even have a cell phone, so I'm thinking like it's gonna be a bunch of sand everywhere. It's gonna be looking like a desert. It does, but like it was more like urban. Like it was cities. It was like buildings. So I'm seeing cars. I'm like, I didn't think I was gonna see cars over there. I thought I was gonna see camels. So I'm getting out seeing cars. It was. I remember we get in the back, right, and the unit that went out before us, someone threw a grenade in the joint. So like when you get over there, like the unit that's occupying it and the unit that's coming in, what they do is they call left seat, right seat, and you ride around with them so you can learn the area, learn what's going on.
makes sense.
Right. So that's like a real critical time for them to attack you because they know the new guys are coming in and they're training with the other guys.
And your basic job is to
just patrol, basically. That's all you're over there doing is just
Okay.
patrolling. You're over there like one big police force.
that's what
So you're doing raids. You're doing like high value extractions. Like depending on like in West, like I was a combat engineer. I got tasked out to an infantry unit, so I was doing infantry operations, but I also dealt with explosives too. So I had the robots that would pull the bombs off the sides of the road, so I would operate that. But we would also clear houses and run around like that too.
Yo, he was 18. He was 18.
Nuts.
He was 18.
Nuts. I'm having a drink for you.
Like,
man.
I was 18.
Jeez.
I was pulling, explosives out of the buildings and shit with my robots.
Listen, I was 19. I was a brick house. I felt like I could run through a wall. I was like, best
Crazy.
shape of my life.
Crazy.
Best shape of my life,
Crazy.
Yo, but that's what it is, right? You look at some of these soldiers, man, and they that young. 18, 19, 20.
And you wanted it though.
But you wanted it.
Yeah, I wanted it. Yeah, I wanted the deployment because when I got back, it wasn't like I just got sent away. I volunteered for it. First one came.
That's what
up,
I'm saying. Like, yeah.
They were going to Afghanistan. I was like, yo, I'm trying to go on a deployment to Afghanistan. They were like, nah, we got everybody we need. I'm like, all right, well, what's the next deployment coming up? They was like, oh, well, it was one to like the borders, and then it was one that was going to Iraq.
So you could have went to Mexico and you was like, nah, fuck that, send me to Iraq.
And it was one to Egypt too. I ain't gonna lie, I turned down the border one, but I tried to jump on that Egypt one because that Egypt one you just be over there in the pool.
Pyramids,
Yeah,
Yeah, you just go over there like a lifeguard. So I was like, I tried to get on
See
the
what
Egypt
this
joint.
now looks like over
But they
here.
was like,
man.
nah, you just got here. You don't get that one. You can go to Iraq, the one you was asking about a couple months
Yeah,
ago.
Crazy.
You should have took the border.
Yeah.
Like,
But it was a wild time over there. I mean, I don't regret none of the stuff I did over there. Like I said, it's definitely like you standing by like the Tigris River, the Euphrates River.
yeah, like you seeing.
You like, yo, I'll
seeing
never
shit
be
you
able
only
to
read
see
about
this.
in the Bible.
Yeah, I'll never be able to see this on my own. They going too crazy over there. Like I'll never be in that part of Iraq
Yeah.
to just be like, yo, I was walking around like interacting in this different type of world
It's like
that you'll like that's so exclusive that like only 1% of the 1% of the world gets to see it.
that's crazy.
Nuts.
Take pictures, you ain't had no phone.
Nah, I had a Nikon. I took some pictures. Yeah,
Oh,
I had to bust that out. So, but I ain't got a lot because you want to
'cause
keep your
what you
hands
gonna
on
do?
it. Yeah.
Walk around with your camera and shit get shot.
I mean, listen, I had the camera right on me. You got everything else on you, so I had the camera on me too.
It's
Sit
one more
there,
thing.
pull that joint out, snap a couple pictures, put it back in. Yeah. So you can
Yeah.
try to document it
Damn.
as best you can.
What's up, man? My uncle did combat camera. He tried to talk me into that shit when I came out of college. I'm like, man, fuck that, B. I'm not built for
I'm
that.
trying to imagine.
I'm not
I'm
built
trying to
for that.
imagine you like
Yeah.
doing combat like
I don't like the uniform didn't do nothing to me, man. Like they all look the same and shit. Like he said, I seen the uniform and shit. I was like, yo, I want to do that. I see the uniform. I'm like, what these suckers all got the same?
Yeah.
damn.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So then you came back. And let's run through your police business real quick, man. Then we'll get into the topic.
yeah.
We might as well jump into it so we don't waste no time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I came back. I was doing the police thing for a while.
I got 1,000 questions about the
Yeah,
other
up
shit,
until,
but
like,
you know what I mean?
2000,
We gotta do a part 2, man. We gotta you know what I
Like this
mean?
dude, he's got his stories crazy, man.
So I was doing the police thing up until about 2018 when I got terminated. The city accused me of falsifying 2 arrests. They charged me with attempted theft by deception, said that I tried to defraud the city out of less than $100. Yeah. I was facing 22 years for that.
22 years, Dave, for $100.
Yeah, because I wouldn't take the
All right.
deal. Which
Hold
was,
on, hold on.
See, you gotta stop. You gotta interrupt
Yeah, listen,
every 32
That's
seconds.
what I'm
It's
saying.
crazier and
There's so
crazier.
many things. So
Yeah.
You come from. Can you just? I mean,
Listen, man,
oh my God.
I never even had a,
So you
a
could-
parking ticket.
you-
And
I'm
they telling me
imagining, like,
I'm
you-
getting more
you
time than these-
volunteer
than these
for
guys that be
service.
shooting,
Yes.
killing people, yo.
You volunteer for service. Coming
Yeah.
out of the war zone
She
and
looked at the
shit.
cops in Southwest like, yo, man,
And she-
things is pretty cool when the
she-
cops are around. I think I'll be a cop.
And come on, man, I'm still in Southwest, and I can tell you that.
Yeah, so man, it's crazy because what it
Thank you.
comes down to is it's all a system, and they all help each other,
hmm
so they all protect each other. The police department absolutely knew those charges was trumped up. You know, when I got terminated, they, you know, the union head was like, "Listen, this isn't about
Wait,
arresting
is
you."
this the
Yeah,
FO?
yeah.
I hate
No.
this. I don't hate anybody.
Listen,
but that
Nobody
dude,
likes him
like,
except for cops.
is under my
Yeah.
fucking.
Nobody likes that dude except for cops.
He came in there. He said that, you know, this ain't about convicting you. He's like, these charges you can't get convicted off these charges. This is about humbling you and teaching you a lesson.
And he's telling you
And
this.
I'm sitting there
Just-
looking at him, and I'm like, okay. And he's like, you're gonna fight for your job back. You know, you're gonna lose some stuff. He said, and if you get it back, the next time you'll think twice. I look over at my lawyer, and I'm just like, you see this? Because this is my first time meeting my lawyer at that time, and I look
Yeah.
at her, and I'm like, see, I told you I wasn't making none of this shit up, you know? Because when you meet somebody, I'm like, yo, they're trying to get me. It's a conspiracy, you know? And they hear that, and they're like, oh,
Like,
okay,
yeah,
yeah, I heard it a
whatever.
bunch of times, but
Yeah.
without me even saying anything. And then he's like, well, who is this? I'm like, oh, this is my lawyer. That's not your lawyer. Like, who are you to tell me who my lawyer is? But
Scumbag.
yeah, you know, I got terminated. You know, I got arrested. And like I was saying, it's a system. So you know, they trump the charges up.
Mhm.
They know the charges are BS. They kick it over to the DA's office. The DA's office continues to prosecute, knowing that they have no real tangible evidence to convict off of. But they do it because they hope that they can get they can wear you down, and you just be like, you know what, I just take the deal, yo.
Yeah.
Because that's a win for them. 100 years or an
Or
ARD is a win.
So they
and
just
that's
put you to the
all that
system.
matters to them.
So they just put you to the system
Yeah.
like a regular
And then,
Like
nigga.
a
and then it-
regular
And then listen, and then it
frigate
flips.
Joe, B.
It flips right over to the judge who comes into there with their bias. You know, you got your judges who are pro police. You know, you
Mhm.
got your judges who are, you know, more liberal. You know, and these DAs, they try to kick it back and forth to which courtroom it falls in, because which courtroom can depend if you're guilty or not.
Yeah.
Now I hear guys all the time like, look, yo, we gotta take a deal because we're in front of this judge.
Yep.
So yo,
Like, it's not even about if they did it or
so
not.
when you were a cop, you kind of knew this is how it was going
Yeah,
down,
that-
right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a
So-
lot of stuff like that going down, man.
So being on the other side of that, like, what is that like when you're like, and you see the shit coming?
So like I said, looking at the stuff that's going on, if you're not looking for it or trying to look for it, you don't see all the stuff. So even as a cop, I saw some of the stuff that was going on, but it wasn't until I went through the system, because when you arrest somebody as a police officer, you have a very small part and window in their court proceedings. You know, when you come up there, you're testifying, you do your little testifying, and then you're out.
The fact that you show up is a big part.
Yeah. But what I mean is, it's
All right, I'm just-
like lengthwise.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's a very short window of just your little bit of time in there, as opposed to your trial could be 45 minutes.
Uh-huh.
The officer that arrests you could be up there for 2 of those 45 minutes. You get what I'm saying? As opposed to,
Just stop.
yeah, I'm like losing my train of thought. Sorry.
Okay.
It's all good. We getting into
Yeah,
the shit, man.
Sorry, yeah. So I start rolling, but yeah, like it's a very small window, so you might not. Like, it wasn't until I went through it that I got to see the
Like
other
the actual-
40.
Yeah,
the other
the
40
actual
other
shit.
43
That's what-
minutes.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm like, yo, it's like-
he's like, I was just sitting there saying, yeah,
You know?
I pulled him over, he did this, he did that, boom, 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 and I was going.
He didn't have the,
No,
You
the,
ain't see the railroad.
credential. Da, da,
really
da,
going
da,
down.
yeah.
That shit turned my stomach. When I got done with that, yo, I said, yo, I don't even have a heart to put cuffs on nobody anymore. And you know, when
And you wanted to be like, you
Yeah,
wanted to be
wanted to be
police.
a cop.
and when I negotiate with the city, you know, we're talking about, you know, if you're coming back, if you're not coming back, you know, and I'm like, well, listen, I don't even have it in me to even cuff nobody no more, because I know how fucked up the system is, and I can't consciously put somebody through it. You get what I'm saying? When
I
now
do
I
get
know
what you're
what it's
saying.
looking like when you get what I'm
Yo,
saying? Because I've
maybe
been
we
through.
need more cops to go through what you went through.
Listen, man, ain't nobody trying to go through that shit.
I mean,
Like,
I mean,
So they
it's
understand,
it's
like, what they
traumatic,
doing
man.
to
Like,
people, man.
I mean,
you get locked
talk
up.
about community policing, right? You know what I'm
Right?
saying? Like, they talk about, you hear all the time, if we can just get more cops from the area to like join, this guy
From the
goes
area.
to war, comes back, like, yo, I'm trying to like work in the area, and then
They do want black cops. They want
But
female
what is that?
cops, but they want the black and female cops that are from upstate Pennsylvania, from the burbs of New Jersey, that are driving hours to come down here to police, but they don't live in the area. They might look black, they may look like they belong in the area, but they don't. They're not from there. They can't relate to what's going on.
Yeah, I just watched
it's a culture shock to them, just as it would be for a white officer.
Yeah.
I just watched a documentary a month ago on Attica. It came on Showtime, and like they were talking about, like, first of all, like all these minorities and black people in the jail and the townspeople, like they never interact with people.
Nope.
And this is not the 2000s. This is not the. This is a long time ago. So not too long. You know what I'm saying? But just the fact that like still today is the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
and it's scary too, man, because it's literally like I was sitting there and I was like, yo, no one can help me. Like I literally got to figure this out on my own, because once the judge start teaming up, it's like, well, how can you get help when you need help against a judge?
He was fighting everybody.
Like you can ask the
DA.
The judge can overstep her authority.
Bro, when the cops is talking like the robbers, what's going on, man?
The judge can overstep her authority, and you can have proof and everything like that. You can ask them to recuse themselves, and they can say no, and then still try over the case. And if you can't tell me that person's not going to be biased when you're asking them to step down. When they're forcing you to take a deal, you're not taking the deal, and then they're like, well, I'm gonna give you 22 years if you don't take this deal. Everyone in the courtroom is just looking
over $100.
Over $100, they talk about, yo, you facing 22 years.
To me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Like
every day,
you're telling me that my crime is so bad that you're going to give me 22 years for it if I'm found guilty. But it's not so bad that if I plead guilty, then all I get is a slap on the wrist and fine.
You go home tomorrow.
Like to
you
me,
go home right now.
All that tells me is you're working with the city to pressure me into relieving my job and dropping this whole thing. Like, no, you're not gonna bully me out of it. Like, you're not gonna sit there and put that pressure from behind the bench. You're not gonna try the case from behind the bench, which is what she did. You get what I'm saying? Like nobody can help me. That's just what that was. It was
nobody.
It was me and my lawyer. She's calling lawyers every day to come check it out. Like, this is crazy. And, and still nobody wants to help, because everybody kept saying like, yo, look, what can we do? Like, it sucks, but this is how it is sometimes.
Dude, no, this is how it is all the time.
Yeah.
For people who ain't a cop.
I don't got no connections, man. I'm not affiliated.
Exactly.
I'm not protected at any chance. I'm just another motherfucker that's going through the system. And they're treating me exactly like it. They don't care how many medals I got. They don't care about the medal of heroism that I got. They don't care about
the fucking medals.
Like, they don't care.
That matters.
All they care about is that.
Hopefully your mom will keep those medals in the drawer for you when you come home after these 22 years.
They'll still be there.
Yeah, they'll still be there.
Yeah, you can tell them 22 years ago, before you got locked up, they gave you a medal.
You had a medal of heroism.
Because, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, and I just look, man. It's a lot, man.
What do you do from like? It's like you grew up wanting to be this, and then
you become it, and then you're like, holy shit, this shit is horrible in here.
You just be depressed, because you got to figure out what you're gonna do with yourself, because you devoted so much time training yourself to be one thing that you had an expectation of it being another, and it turns out that it's not. And my thing was,
I didn't even think about. I'm sorry, man. Like the depression side of it, like it's bad enough you're dealing with this, but then the realization.
First of all,
this is what I wanted to be since I was a kid. I get here, and this is who you are.
And this is after coming back from war.
Yeah. After coming back from war,
and I could deal with me taking the job, it not being what I thought it was going to be, and just being like, oh wow, this is something I seen. But what got me was that what I learned it to be, everybody else already knew and was okay with it. And that's the part that got me. That's what burnt me out. And I was like, yeah, I got it.
And like nobody gave you a heads up.
Because listen, I was already.
But what are they gonna tell you, right? What are they gonna go to the class and say, hey, look,
have you seen
racism?
Have you seen Serpico?
But
have you seen Serpico?
But they do though. But listen, I remember the one thing I remember from the police.
He had a bandana too. I'm just saying. I'm not sure if you saw Serpico.
Yeah, I know where. Yeah,
he probably had to watch it. It's probably his lawyers like, let's go watch this.
No, I know him. I talked to him.
This is your life.
I know he has helped me out. When I first started getting harassed before it happened, he was reaching out to me like, yo, I'm telling you, your name came up. And I'm like, all right.
Yo,
Oh, you got a
And this
call
was-
from
and-
Serpico?
and this was-
Al Pacino?
Yeah, I was, so I was like, yeah, I got nothing bad to say about, Andre, man. He a good dude. He a good dude. He a little eccentric, man, but he a good dude.
hanging out with models, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm a
Nah, yeah.
Drifting.
big fan. But yeah, like you said, like so for me, it's like coming from war and then into this situation, like do you talk to somebody, man? Like, what the fuck?
Listen, man, I had 2 breakdowns on the job when I was going through that. I'm not the crying type. I'm not the emotional type. And I remember I'm just sitting there one day. I'm in the car. I'm getting back. I was like, oh, yeah, when I grab some drinks. I only had like 2 drinks. I got back home, and I'm like, you know what? I was on my motorcycle. So I was like, let me take my motorcycle home, park my bike up, get my car, so I can go drink some more, so.
You don't want to ride your bike.
Yeah.
With more than 2
I was already
drinks in
playing
you.
games with the 2 drinks. Yeah.
You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I remember sitting in the car. I mean, I get to the crib, run in there. I go sit in the car. I was like, oh, left my gun in the crib. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just leaving it in there. I like, what do I need it for tonight? I'm only going a few blocks away. And I just felt like tears coming down my face. So, I'm wiping my eyes. I'm like, I start crying, not even knowing what I was crying about. And then I start thinking like, well, what would I even be crying about? And then all the stuff that was going on at the job and everything like that.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Shit, your subconscious
and listen, I had, like I said, I had a breakdown. And
I'm sure not just the job. I'm sure the military, and then I'm sure like all the other things, man. Like
even all of that, I was able to handle
fucking
that.
Southwest
You get what I'm
Philadelphia,
saying?
man. Like, what are we talking about?
But that stuff with the city really got to me.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sitting there and I'm having a breakdown and I'm not knowing what I'm about to do next. I don't think I'm gonna do anything, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, I'm calling everybody on my phone, nobody's answering, so I'm getting in my own head. And then, one of my friends happened to pick up that I haven't talked to in years from the military. It kind of talked me down. And then I'm like, you know what? I gotta start like getting into some therapy because I'm like, I can't let the city stuff kill me.
Yeah.
I was like, nobody's helping me. I can't talk to nobody about it because
And this is while you're going through your trial or after?
this was my first 2 breakdowns was while I was still on the job going through everything.
Okay.
And then I had a breakdown after everything.
And this is after the first trial? Because you had 2 cases. So this is after the first case?
This is all while that first one was going on.
This is while the first one was going on because you weren't on the job after the arrest.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one you was off the job.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was off the job. I was on the job for the arrest one, and then I wound up getting off the job a year later because the arrest one started in 2017. I got it out in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just because you had the racial discrimination joint,
Yeah.
right?
So basically, I had a claim for racial discrimination, hostile work environment, and retaliation.
Uh-huh.
When I pushed that claim up, they tossed out the racial discrimination and the retaliation, and they just kept the one summary judgment. So when they threw those 2 out, it gave more the city less pressure to settle and everything like that.
Yeah,
right.
Of course.
So I wound up selling out with the city. I'm like, you know what? We're gonna settle. The guy who was harassing me was off the job. Everything was good to go. We can keep it moving. I'm still a cop. Everything's good to go. Once I did that, 2 weeks later, they're like, yo, we need your gun. You're under investigation. And I'm like, for what? They was like, we're not allowed liberty to tell you. You're just under investigation. Okay.
And this is after you went after them on you went out on social media about Dante Dante, right? What was his name?
Yeah.
The shooting, right? Called the cops out for that.
Yeah, so it was
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm giving
okay,
you,
Mike.
I'm dropping
Mike got
some
you.
there for you,
Yeah,
Dave.
so-
I'm helping you out, Dave.
Thank you.
That's
Like, what?
that they were so the shooting happened in my district, so I saw the video of the shooting. So, I'm watching the investigation unfold the way it's unfolded, and then, they start making remarks as if the shooting was justified and everything like that. This is right before the video. Everybody started finding out about the video and stuff like that. So I got on Facebook and basically was, putting my 2 cents on what I thought was going on. And, people start screenshotting my pictures, putting collages about me, saying that I was a thug in a uniform. I'm getting death threats. Now my gun's taken. I'm being called like, take that post down. These are cops that are threatening
These are
me,
cops
you know what
doing
I'm
it.
saying?
Yo, but then it was actual. At the
Yeah.
same time, the same cops that had like the riot and
Listen, I'm sitting there going through all that, and I'm like, yo,
January 6th.
I'm
like,
making these complaints. These complaints are going up, and they're not investigating them. And then I'm sitting there, and I'm like, well, why won't you investigate any of my complaints? I'm giving you screenshots. I'm giving you pictures. I'm giving you all the stuff you need to discipline them to some degree.
Yeah.
Even if it was a slap on the wrist, it's something because I needed to show that they were
acknowledge it, right?
But they weren't disciplining anybody. They were just letting them to continue to harass me and continue to keep going on. I had to change my name on my Facebook. I changed my Instagram. I'm going up to Internal Affairs, the Impact Unit, where they investigate the corrupt police. And they're like, well, we need to ask you about the shirt you got on. I had a Hands Up, Don't Shoot t-shirt. They like, what does it mean?
You went too black on them.
They said, what does it say? I need you to read it out loud.
I mean, he had me at reciprocal call. Like, what?
Like, read it out loud. Read it out loud, and then tell us what it says to you and what does it mean to you. I'm looking at him like, I'm not explaining to you what this shirt means. It means exactly what it says. Hands up, don't shoot. I was like, why do you want me to explain that to you? She was like, well, we just need to hear it in your words. You know, how did you pay for that shirt? I said, I work for the city, I get paid, and I use my money to pay for it. They're sitting there trying to figure out what questions to ask me because some boss didn't like the fact that I had that shirt on.
What year is this? I don't want to lose people. What year is this?
This was 2017, 2018.
Okay.
Just 5 years ago, B.
Just checking.
5 years ago, B.
But yeah, I
tell people still playing was playing. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Like people be saying, you know, cops need to speak out more. You know, but
facts.
Nobody wants to go through this. You know, and this is exactly what you go through when you speak out.
And this is also what
every single time.
This is also what they talk about. They talk about like why they don't speak out because
like, there's no protection.
So cops won't speak out. Cats in the neighborhood don't speak out. You wonder why we can't solve no crimes?
Yeah, it's
like everybody's stuck,
it's
man.
No protection. Man.
Everybody's stuck.
No protection at all. Like
the system is so broken, man.
It's designed to protect the people they want to protect.
It is.
You know, you'll never get a fair investigation if the person who is handling the investigation has
on the same team, right?
Yeah.
Like how does that work?
I've had investigators, you know, pull me up there and ask me questions that they were not even supposed to be asking me. Make comments about the person that I'm investigating. You're investigating my claims that he's treating me differently because of my race, and you're telling me that you and him are such good friends that I should just understand that he comes off a little rough. You know what I'm saying? Well, how are you in charge of this investigation that you're now initiating when you're not capable of being biased because you couldn't even go 2 minutes without telling me how good you guys are friends?
So you biased right out the box.
Yeah, and then,
right out the box.
You let me know right now.
First. They let you know up front.
Yeah,
like,
and they let you know, like, look, you don't got a chance. Like, I'm telling you right now, that's my man.
When I hear conversations like that, I just go to my lawyer, like, yo, listen, we should start getting on top of this because this is what it's going to be. And that's how we've been dealing with it, man. It's just.
Damn, your lawyer is
she the truth.
Yeah, she is, man. She's a sweetheart, man. She, like, really cares. So, you know, and, like, when she took my case, it wasn't even like she was really, like, pursuing for me or anything like that. It was like I was a friend, her friend referred me, and she was just like, well, you know, let me know what's going on. I want to hear your side of it before I decide if I'm gonna take it. And you know, I told her, and she was like, you know, I believe you. And then the more she stuck with me, the more she was like, it's crazy. You know, she was more scared than I was when we were in there. You know, I'm holding her hand. She's like, her knees are shaking because she knows how unfair that, and not like because she doesn't think she's a good lawyer, because she knows how unfair.
And she's in the system too, right? So she's in the system as a lawyer, and so when you sitting there with a client who you know is getting railroaded,
got that little check, that little blue check next to your joint, that means you official.
How do you keep doing your job as an attorney, right? When you know the system is this broken, it will railroad somebody like this, so no matter what I come through here with.
Crazy.
Listen, that Judge Marianne Coyle is a predator, yo. She is 100% judicial predator.
Listen, you gotta stop calling out names.
First of all, every week we be like, yo.
She is.
We be like, yo, we about to shut down.
This gonna be the show that gets us shut down.
Because he's always calling out the mayor.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, like you thought it was
the mayor's not his favorite, you know what I'm saying?
That's the show that gets us
this
shut
is
down.
it. So what's her name again? What was her name?
Judge Marianne Coyle.
And he looked down at the camera.
Listen, look her up, man. She's been sanctioned by the Supreme Court a bunch of times, but they just can't get her off the bench. She's nuts.
Now, how is that, right? Supreme Court sanctioned
because his judges are protecting judges. At the end of the day, the Supreme Court judge is still a judge. And they're not going to let any judge fall too far if they have a choice. Because if it happens to one judge, it can happen to all the judges. If we all lock down to protect each other, then we're untouchable. And it's all about one club protecting the other club. That, you know?
Damn,
it's crazy, man.
It is.
It's crazy.
The crazy part is they always pick the right one. Yeah. Right? They always pick the dude they're like, you're like, no. And it's like, actually, he's an actual veteran. Actually,
correct.
He signed up to do this.
They don't get the ones who deserve to go.
Yeah, it's always
it
like.
It never happens for the cat who should be on trial.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is probably one of the best cops the city could have friggin' ever had. and you railroading them this dude like this, right? Like you said, you talk about community policing. He's a cat from the neighborhood.
Continuous can talk about community
policing.
policing. If we can just get people from the area,
Yeah.
because the cops are not from the area.
Admiring the job that the cops are doing. What did he say? He said, yo, I didn't mind when the cops are around because, things was quiet.
How old are you?
I'm 33. Yeah,
All right, yeah,
33.
so
I'm a little older now.
I'm a little older than you, so I know the area which you speak.
Yeah.
And the fact that you were admiring the cops.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I
That's
got-
different.
okay.
They don't even
Riddick call
make,
them,
yeah,
do
man,
we
the
even
Riddicks.
make kids like that
Yeah.
anymore?
I went to techommunications technology. Yeah, with the pepper. Yeah.
See what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I went there. Yeah.
SWP, we talking about
Yeah.
talking that shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
The wrong area, but whatever. You know what I'm saying?
You said who? Miss Barrett was still teaching there. Yeah, Miss Barrett was
Yeah,
there.
man.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is like a freaking Southwest reunion of
It is, man. You don't even know.
Every time I bring you, every time since I come in here, it's like a reunion for
Hey.
Dave.
I went to Pepper.
Dude, you gotta stop
went to
with the
Pepper?
freaking questions from the gallery without a microphone.
Yeah, I went to Pepper Middle School.
Pepper's is now an art gallery and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
underground, just like they just graffiti havens. You know what I'm saying? Like
He said it's an art gallery.
for sure, they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, man, underground art gallery, man.
There'll be some dope pictures coming out of there. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go in there and break in and shoot.
You're not going. You're
can't
not.
get in?
You're not dangerous enough. You can't go in there
I
with
can't
the.
with these cops.
You are not dangerous
Can't get in
enough.
with these cops.
You know what I'm saying?
And my
These
camera.
places are abandoned.
Yeah,
You're not going in there like, oh, where's the entrance?
Nah, I ain't
Like
messing
when
with
you,
that. I'm probably
this is,
dirty my shoes
Hey,
and shit.
he was
I
like,
ain't
what-
going no place where my shoes might get dirty.
where's the entrance? Do they? Yeah, I mean, you can't bring your company car, man. You gotta like, you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
I got some t-shirt. I got a black
A
t-shirt.
t-shirt, a black
I got a
t-shirt.
black.
This school's been abandoned for years and years and years.
I got a black t-shirt.
It's built on a swamp.
You know what I mean? I got some
Yeah.
old
Give you some
Timbs.
Southwest Philadelphia history
I
here,
got
man.
some old Timbs and a black t-shirt. I can't get in.
Nah, nah, man, you can't get in. Yo, it's so good to meet you, man. Like,
Yeah, I appreciate
and
it.
like,
man.
it's so much information, and we still got like,
Dude, he's got so much. Like an
Yeah.
hour ain't even enough.
it's not enough.
When we did the over drink the interview, he was
Yeah.
just talking and talking and talking. I was like, yo, I think I asked 3 questions. If you watch the joint,
Yeah.
it's like 35, 40 minutes. I might have asked 3 questions, man.
Yeah.
This is just so much.
I tell people, man, I was like, yo, like you're hearing the story right now, but I'm telling a story that's been going for 7 years, and I try to tell it to people so because I'll get halfway through and they be like, "Damn, you went through all that." I'm like,
I'm just
I'm
getting
still
started.
going. Like, it's
Yeah, it's still going.
more
Like
parts
it ain't
going
over
on.
yet.
Or they'll come because they'll see our interview.
Which
so they'll
was
ask me
viral
questions.
for me.
Yeah, they'll
I
ask.
got like 800 views on that joint. That joint is viral for me.
Yeah, they'll ask questions.
I'll
off
get
of
hit
that,
up from
yeah.
cops and shit. Like, yo, I'm about to watch this shit right now. The guy
Oh,
was
man.
like, yo, I stand with Brian. I was like, at least I know there's some cops throwing down with him and shit.
Yeah, man. It was people that was like hitting me up when stuff was going on. Like I said, I understood why they couldn't really get out there, but that's the hard part is that you got to deal with all that quietly.
Yeah.
And so the leader of the FOP, that guy, he told you to just take the spanking
told me to
and learn your lesson.
listen, he had no interest in me coming back on that job. He did what he had to do to keep me off that job. They run the arbitration system there, and they play it against the city, and the city plays it against them. Those arbitrations are in their back pocket. They have
Yeah.
arbitrators.
They get the cats back on the
He
job
told
who they
me
want to get back on the job.
We bring the tough cases back. To me, is
The boy that smacked the shit back on the job. You know what I mean? Like,
Everybody gets back on the job. The cats who chased the dude down that they caught with the helicopter, pulled him out of the car, said they had guns. Dude was jumping over the car so he could beat the shit out of homie. Back on the job. You know what I'm saying?
I coulda did anything
Charles
and came
Ramsey
back.
was like, I don't want none of them back on the job.
But the
Not
dude,
only were they back on the
but the
job,
dude that wanted to do the
was
job,
back
get him
there.
out of here.
the difference is it's like all those guys won their arbitration, and
And he lost his.
and
How the hell is that?
and like I said, my thing is when you got somebody, right? When you got somebody that can bring the tough people back, they can keep the problem people off as well.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of power when you're dealing with
Think about it that way, right?
that police work.
Man, I just want to know what you listen to when you work out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man, I be listening to everything. I
what
be
you listening
R&B.
Yo,
to,
you probably
man?
listen to Dead Prez.
Nah, I be listening to R&B, man, when I be working out and everything like that, yo.
What you
I
listen to
listen
these days?
Alicia
man?
Keys,
What's the latest thing you
Some Miguel.
like turned on that you like? I'm fucking with this strong, man.
I like that new joint with Kanye and I like
I
that joint.
was
Which
not
one is
feeling it.
Yeah,
The new one.
the
The one we were just talking about. I was like, I don't know who wrote this. Joint.
his new joint that's the one he released with him and Alicia Keys. Yeah,
I don't even know if I heard that one. That's what was just playing?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he was going on.
Okay. Yeah. Nah, I didn't care for the
Pulling up the SNL.
Yeah.
But then
with the
once you
goons.
pulling up the SNL, yeah, I heard people talking about it, but I had never listened to the song.
That was
That's
it.
when that Pete Davidson got all a little emotional about.
Yeah,
They said
Come on,
Kanye.
man.
They said Kanye had his goons coming. Like Kanye ain't got no goons.
I think it's an act. All of it.
Hey, you're a billionaire. You can have some goons.
Yeah, Kanye's goons are like friggin' fashion guys.
Hey, man, he's a billionaire.
Hey, look, man.
Let me get some goons.
Let me tell you something, man. Pete Davidson should have known, man. You know right away, you mess with a crazy dude's ex-girlfriend, you gonna have problems.
Yeah,
That's just, I don't care how rich or poor they are.
So
You
he's,
don't mess with the crazy, yo, like, oh, she used to fuck with homeboy. I ain't fucking with
he's
her.
the crazy baby daddy pulling up to your
Yes.
like,
Yes.
I didn't know they had that many kids, yo.
Who's that, Kanye?
Yeah.
They got, what, 3 of them?
you got 3?
Yeah,
Yeah.
3?
Like, dude, like, you know what I mean? That's just always been the rule, right? There's always that chick who was like, yeah, she can't get a boyfriend because her baby dad crazy. That's Kim Kardashian now.
But he they got 4.
Got
Or-
4
yeah,
kids.
they got.
He's a diagnosed billionaire, though. He's a diagnosed.
That don't stop you from
then he's-
being crazy, dang.
I'm saying
Money
he's
makes-
diagnosed.
Yeah, but if I had Kanye money, you know how off I would be?
Oh,
Yo!
that's almost insensitive to.
To who? You kill me with this insensitivity business. Every time I say something, every time I say something, I'm insensitive to somebody.
It's almost insensitive to people that are diagnosed. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yo!
Yes,
It's not a matter of being diagnosed. It's just a matter.
it is
of
a matter.
Unlimited.
It's documented that
resources.
you need.
No, I'm just saying. All right, let me rephrase.
All right.
If I had the resources that he has, I could operate without restriction.
He's doing that.
Yeah, because he
Yeah.
can afford it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about, man. Come on, Mike.
And I would do the same thing. I'm not saying
You
I'd
would do
be
the
as
same thing.
crazy as like I'd be on social media chasing down my ex-wife.
You wouldn't care how crazy you would be. That's what he's not on medication. He should be.
No, he shouldn't
But he
be.
stopped taking his medication.
He shouldn't be.
What?
Diagnosed though is what I'm trying to say.
I don't like him harassing his ex-wife. But everything else he's doing, I'm good with.
yeah.
You don't like the okay.
Because, you know, it's almost time. Hey, Tugas, Siska,
No, we got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes
She's
left.
here, though.
And she here, though.
She here, though, so we got 5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes.
She here. So what you gonna do for 5 minutes?
Yo, we got, I mean, there's so many more questions to
Shoot a
ask, man.
question.
No, I mean, like, we need more time, man.
Shoot,
Like,
dudes don't waste the 5 minutes.
nah, but this is an actual thing with the FOP that you had on your list.
Did I have something on that?
You had something on your list, man. You ain't look at your phone,
Look
bro.
at it. Pull it up.
I'm telling you.
You got the list. Pull it up. I had something from the FOP on
Yeah,
here.
man.
I had. We got a teacher shortage. 160 teachers quit since December.
That wasn't it, man. FOP filing a lawsuit against.
Oh, the FOP filed a lawsuit against the driver equity,
Which is crazy.
which is insanity, right? And Homeboy was on TV talking about how, you know,
Don't call him a homeboy, yo. He's not a homeboy.
what's his name?
He's not a homeboy.
The FOP dude.
Not a homeboy.
Was it
That's what I'm-
McNesby?
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
on TV talking about how, you know, this driver equity law is making it harder for cops to do their job.
Is that the one thing
Like-
that's making it?
Like, really? Like, is it, so you can't just harass people for the sake of harassing people? Makes
Yeah.
it tougher for you to do your job? Like, is that what you asking for us to give you back?
I mean, I looked at that list and they just being a baby. Like
That's exactly
the
what they're
stuff that they
doing.
said that should stop stopping people for. Most of the time was subjective anyway, and it should have been
Correct.
some more stuff on there.
Correct.
Like the window tint thing. That's subjective.
Yes.
You know, it ain't no testing equipment here.
Correct.
You know, you
my
pull them
God.
over, you're like, oh, your tint's too dark.
Just
Who are
a
you to
little
say my
too
tint is
dark.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, according
It
to
came
who,
like
right?
that from the factory.
You know,
like,
I get
what
my
do you-
car inspected and they shooting a laser beam through and they're saying it's not too dark. And now
But
you
now you pulling me over.
are
telling
saying
me
that it
to
is. You know, it's some things on that list that should have definitely been on. That should have been on that list that came out. So I don't even know why they're complaining because they got to win. Actually,
That's
Yeah.
it. Well, they complaining because they don't like to get nothing taken away from them.
Well, yeah, that's the power, man.
That's any little piece of power that you strip away from them and give back to the people. They have a problem with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got pulled over. Cop pulled me over on Roosevelt Boulevard. I said, "You didn't use your blinker when you switched lanes."
Was you yelling at him?
Hell yeah, I yelled at him. Hell yeah. I'm like, yo, like, and this is what I mean. I don't like to see nobody get hurt.
Yeah.
But this is not too long after the cop that got killed up at the Dunkin' Donuts up here on North Broad, right?
Okay, yeah, Cassidy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
I'm
was like
thinking to
07.
myself, and he pulled me over. I'm like, yo, man, for a blinker?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't use your blinker. I said, yo, man, are we really doing this?
But the blinker, that's just to get into your car.
Correct.
That's all it is.
Correct.
That's
So I know what's
that's
going
the articulable
down, right?
reason just to
So
get in the car.
I know what's going
you know,
down,
yeah.
right? So I'm like, yo, man, you
That-
got cops out here getting murdered. And you stopping me for a blinker? Like, why don't you go find the cats who's shooting at these cops?
You had this much passion?
Yeah.
Gangster.
I got it.
All right, Mike, yeah, the C's rolled up.
Nah,
You showing the watch?
I'm still on the street then. So, you know what I mean? I'm probably...
Yeah.
had on my... I had the sleeves and shit because I was on the street
You my
then.
idol, man.
But you know what I mean? It was just, it's like when they do shit like that to regular working class citizens,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And that was my issue with it, right?
And
It's
like you said,
yo,
it's just to
man,
get entry, and you're not
Yeah.
like you're gonna get one of these
yeah.
3 in succession wrong, then now you fuck.
Right,
Yeah.
but even still, right? So now, let's say it could be whatever, right? I could have had 2 drinks that night.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything,
Yeah.
but you harassing me because I didn't use my blinker. So now you could send me down a road that could ruin my whole career, right? Lose my job, lose my wife, lose my car, lose my license.
Yeah.
All this over some bullshit ass. You said I didn't use my blinker?
Yeah. And I mean, I hear they side of it too. You know, when they say stuff like, you know, the Oklahoma City bomber, like Timothy McVeigh, they caught him with like because his license plate was like expired.
But he still blew up a goddamn building.
Yeah, but they caught him after that because of the license plate. But my thing is like
Then so you were late to the party.
they're not stopping the Timothy McVeighs with the license
Correct.
plate.
No.
Correct. This is
Like,
the
that's-
same way they
yeah.
couldn't find
I'm
the
cool.
freaking.
I'm cool with that if you're stopping
Any
everybody
of
with
them.
that, but you're only
Correct.
stopping certain people,
You
so
only
you gotta
stopping
stop it.
people. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The reason they couldn't find the Olympic bomber is because he looked just like them.
Yeah.
You're not looking for the guy who looks like
Yeah.
you. It's that simple.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it was equity in it, they wouldn't have passed this law. The reason why they did this is because when they looked at who was getting stopped, it was blacks and Hispanics, and it wasn't white folks.
Yeah.
They looked at the stats. That's
Yeah.
the reason why we have this law. Y'all don't want the law? Well, switch the stats. Pull your grandfather over.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Pull your nephew over. Pull and harass them the same way you harassing people of color, and then this goes away.
And we're
Yeah.
gonna take a time out right here. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna end it on a positive note. Go check out the new Alchemist and Currency album. Go check out the new Kodak Black album. Go check out the new Tears for Fears album. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta come back, man. We got a bunch of random questions to ask you, like outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just to,
yeah,
like-
yeah. Definitely, I'll come back.
we
Straight
could
up.
have a list of just
No, I could come
But
back.
then also,
yeah,
like
yeah.
after this kind, I'm like, yo, you gotta come back. We gotta.
Yeah.
Because Dave don't prep for interviews no
That's
more.
not true.
And then you
It is
came in
true,
and he was
actually.
like, oh shit, I should have prepped for
I
this.
know, and I thought about prepping, and I was like, no, we're going to have a conversation about some shit because I know you had a story that you want to tell, and Mike was telling me, and I was like, yo, we gotta, let's not like go heavy on the list, and like let's just like,
Yeah, just
get
let
into
him
it,
rock
but
out
then-
because his stories take up the whole hour. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
well, we could talk politics, man. You know what I'm saying? We could talk like really the
Yeah.
real shit because you've been actually in the forefront
Yeah.
of it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So, and it's popular. So let's get
All
out
right,
here,
look,
man.
we got to wrap it up. Hey, y'all, thanks for joining us, man. Over a drink, Glockaware Radio. You know what I'm saying? We got
no bullet.
no bullet. You know what I'm saying? We got Sis Khadija coming up next. Willpower. Y'all stay tuned.